Hi guys, how are you all doing? Welcome back to my channel. So in this video I am going to teach you how to cut and sew this beautiful shirt gathered gown. Okay, keep watching, and if you've not subscribed to my channel, please do well to subscribe, like, share and comment on my videos. Let's get started. Now I have the half length here with me, which is the upper bodice, and I have both the front piece and the back piece together here. So I am marking the starting line here. This is the starting line, which will also serve as our shoulder point here. And after marking it down, I am going to show you how I cut out the front and the back piece together. So here I have the front and the back piece together, and the front piece is 3 inches wider than the back piece because there is going to be a button allowance at the front piece. So the 3 inches wideness, extra wideness, is for the button allowance. Okay, why the smaller one, the shorter one, is the back piece. The one at the top, the one I'm touching now, is the back piece, while the other one that I just marked on now is the front piece. So to determine the wideness of this upper bodice, what we are going to do here is to start the measurement from the back bodice and not the front piece, because the front piece has an extra allowance already. And we are going to divide our bust measurement by 4 plus 2 inches seam allowance. So my client's bust measurement divided by 4 is 11 inches, and I added 2 inches allowance to it, making it 13 inches. So that is the wideness of the upper bodice, and the length is 18 inches. Okay, the length of this upper bodice is 18 inches, but we are going to be making use of 17 inches. So we are going to mark down the points. I'm placing my tape on a straight line. I'm going to mark my armhole point at 9 inches. That's my client's armhole point because she's on the bigger side. So we are going to mark her armhole point at 9 inches, and I'll mark a straight line like this, and I'll mark the bust point at 10 inches and the waist point at 17 inches. Those are the points that we are going to be marking on this particular tutorial for the upper bodice. Now also, to determine the wideness of our neckline, we are going to go in by 3 inches for the wideness of our neckline. 3 inches. We're going to mark it down. And for the shoulder circumference, divide by 2. I'm going to go in by 8 inches. Our shoulder is 15 inches. Divide by 2 is 7.5 plus half inch allowance, making it 8. That is why I'm marking 8. Is also the general standard measurement for shoulder circumference divided by 2. So I'm marking the 8 inches now, and I'm going to take it down all the way to the armhole. I'm going to take down the 8 inches all the way to the first point, that's the armhole point. I'm going to take it all the way down to the armhole point. I'll make sure that I have 8 inches in total, and I'll mark a straight line on it. So now, after marking a straight line, after that I'll come up like this by the armhole line, and I'm going to give my armhole curve. I'll come up by 1 inch and mark my armhole curve like that. Then from the starting line, I'm going to come down by 1 inch, and from that 3 inches wideness, I'll connect it like that. It's going to be the depth of my back neckline, and for the depth of my front neckline, I'm going to come down by 3 inches for the depth, and I will mark it like this. The front neckline, I'm going to mark that 3 inches extra allowance because we are cutting for the front. So I'm going to remove the back, and I'll curve it starting from that 3 inches wideness. I'll curve it down all the way to the outer part, that extra allowance. I will mark it like that all the way outside like that. Give it a curve all the way to the 3 inches allowance wideness, neck width. So that's done. Next thing we're going to do is to divide my bust circumference divide by 4 plus 2 inches seam allowance, and I'm going to do the same on the bust point, and I will do the same on the waist point because our bust point and our armhole point are the same. So I will mark my waist circumference divide by 4 plus 2 inches allowance, and I will connect my measurements together like this. So once I'm done with that, I'm going to go ahead and start cutting out the excesses. Now after cutting out the excesses, we have now the upper bodice ready. So this is the upper bodice, and this I will cut everything on a lining piece. So for the down part of the gown, this is the remaining material. So this is how I'm going to fold it. Just watch. I have already folded by 2 and I'm going to fold it like this, making it fold by 4. Okay, so now I've folded by 4 and I'm going to remove the upper bodice, which is 17 inches, and I'm going to determine the length of the gown. So the full length of the gown is 41 inches. I'm going to mark down the 41 inches here. I'm going to add extra 2 inches, making it 43 inches, because after joining and everything we will be losing some inches, and that will not be good. So I added extra 2 inches so that after joining and everything we have extra we'll still arrive at that 41 inches. So I am marking 3 inches for the button allowance, because the button was extended down to the down part of the gown. So we are going to still mark the 3 inches for the skirt, and we are going to mark it on both the front and the back piece, because the down part of the skirt is gathered. It's a gathered gown, so after gathering it we still arrive at the same thing. So after marking the 3 inches allowance, I marked my waist circumference divided by 4, and I found out that it is enough on here. So I am going to use everything there, all the measurements there. I'm going to use it because it's a gathered gown. It's a gathered gown on the waist, so I'm not going to put extra measurement there, even if there is more allowance. Even if the material is much, I'm going to use all of them here because it's a gathered gown. The fuller the better, but the material wasn't enough, so we are going to manage what we have here. So guys, I'm making sure that the reason why I'm marking that side of the material is because they are not equal. The one underneath is not equal, so I am marking to where I'm going to start cutting out. Okay, so now I'm going to cut out the excesses, and once I'm done cutting out, we are going to have the skirt ready. Now there is this part that I did here because of the way I cut the skirt, and I know you guys will understand what I did here. I even zoomed it so that you guys will see what I did there. So I'm going to cut to to open the front piece, okay, because the front piece is going to have a button. So I removed, see what I did, I removed the back piece of the skirt and I now cut the front piece. The front piece is the one at the outer part. So here is what I did. Now I have open the front piece here, and this is the back piece. You see the back piece is not cut, so I am going to cut out the upper part because it is folded. Okay, I'm going to cut it like this so that we can remove the back piece from the front piece. So once I'm done cutting it out, the next thing we are going to do is to separate the back piece from the front piece. The front piece has already been cut out in 2 pieces, so we can add our button allowance to it. So this is the front piece, the front and the back piece, and the front piece now and the back piece is already separated. So I'm going to give a notch for the button allowance where we are going to start joining the button allowance, and that is it for the skirt part. We are going to add this is the back piece anyways, guys. As you can see, it is here and ready. So we are going to add a lining to it. This is how we are going to gather it to the waist measurement of our clients. Okay, so we are going to add a lining to it, and that is it for the skirt part. Okay, we are going to add a lining. We are going to cut exactly what we cut here on the lining piece. So this is when I am done joining the linings to it, and I've already gathered the waist part to the waist measurement. Okay, my client's waist measurement divide by 2 because we're going to be dividing it by 2. Remember, we divided it by 4 area, but now we have the front and the back piece together, which is 2. So we're going to be dividing it by 2. So when I gathered it, I divided my waist circumference divided by 2. Then what I have, that is the exact measurement I have at the gather. Okay, so now I've gathered it to my waist measurement now, and this is what I have. So I'm going to bring my upper bodice because I did it according to the upper bodice measurement. So my upper bodice measurement is my waist. The down part of my upper bodice measurement is my waist circumference divided by 2 plus 2 inches seam allowance. That is exactly what I have on the waist part of that skirt. So I'm going to place it right side facing each other like this. See, I'm going to place it on top of the skirt, the back piece for the waist. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm going to place it on top of each other. So you leave extra inches without gather, 2 inches without gather, 1.5 inches without gather. It's going to make your work very smooth. And I'm going to start pinning it down. Okay, so other places are gathered, just leave like very smooth to 1.5 inches. Just draw it to the center. Just leave the edges to be very just 1.5 inches. English, guys, you know what I'm saying now. Just don't gather the tip, that's the edge of the cloth. Don't gather it, just leave it like 1.5 inches or 1 inch without gather, then gather the rest. It's going to make your work to be very neat. Okay, so I'm going to sew it like this after attaching both the front and the back piece. So I'm going to join it like this, and this is what it will look like after I'm done joining it with my machine. Then I will do the same for the front piece, guys. So the front piece is divided into 2 because of the button allowance, and this is the button allowance for the front piece, skirt part of the front piece. I've already folded it in by 1 inch. As you can see, it is folded by 1 inch. That's the button allowance, and that's the lining for the front and the gather. I've already gathered it, guys, and that's the button allowance, and that is the 1 inch that I left, and I gathered the rest. That's the center. You see 1.5 inch that I left, and I gathered the rest. So this is the upper bodice. That's the front piece of the upper bodice. I have my 1 inch for the buttonhole allowance and for the buttonhole, and I'm going to place the buttonhole to the buttonhole of the skirt. Okay, right side facing right side. And I'm going to remember, you gather it according to the measurement of your upper bodice. Okay, you gather the skirt according to the measurement of your upper bodice. That's your waist circumference divided by 2 plus 2 divided by 4 plus 2 inches allowance, because the skirt is divided into 2, so we're going to use by 4. We have one side for the skirt and the other side for the skirt, which is 2. So now I am going to sew like this, and then you sew with 1/2 inch, and this is what we are going to have after joining the upper bodice, the both front upper and the down part of the front piece. So we will also repeat the same process for the other side. You know what you did with this other side, we are going to repeat the same process. So you're just going to join the sides together, the upper bodice and the skirt part together. Okay, so this is what we have after joining. Okay, after you're done pinning it down, this is what you should have for the front piece, the 2 sides of the front piece. This is what it should look like. Okay, so now we are going to now go ahead and sew it with our sewing machine. Then I'll come back and show you guys what it looks like. So guys, this is the next day, and we are done joining the gowns together. So this, we are going to check the length of the gown. Remember, we have 41 inches as the full length of this gown, so now it is 41 inches after joining. Okay, and also hemming the down part of the gown, you see we have 41 inches as the full length. Always add allowance to your work. Okay, it saves a lot of time and energy. So now next thing we are going to do now is to close up the front piece. Yes, we are going to close it up. My client does not want her button to be open, so she wants a closed button, and that is what we are going to give to her. So from the down, I'm going to come up by 6 inches like this. So this is our 6 inches. I'm going to open it by 6 inches from the down part of the gown like this, and from the upper bodice I'm going to come down by 7 inches for the opening of the upper bodice. Then I'll place my back piece on the front piece like this, right side facing each other. We are going to join the shoulders together now. So after joining the 2 shoulders, now I'll come back, guys, and I'll show you what it looks like after joining the 2 shoulders together. So after joining the 2 shoulders together, the next thing we are going to do is to measure the round, take the round measurement of the neck, and we have 17.5 inches as the round measurement. So we are going to go ahead and cut our collar, okay, with the measurement. And this is our collar. I have a collar tutorial video on my channel. Please go and watch how to cut and sew a collar. So now I have a 17.5 inches as length. So I'm going to take the part where I did not use a gum stir on. I'm going to join it right side facing right side to the body of the dress. So after pinning it down, I am going to sew on it like this around the neck like this, and after joining it, I will use the place that has a gum stir to close up the work, okay, the inside. I will just fold it and top stitch on it like that, and you're going to see what it looks like after joining them together. So this is what it looks like after joining them together. It came out very perfect and neat. To do now is to close up the two sides. We are going to fold it the back of the dress, and we're going to pin the both sides of the gown. We're going to pin it down, then add our measurements. But this time, if you want to get a perfect measurement for your clients, you don't have to add or divide it. That extra allowance you added, just remove half inch on that extra allowance, because after joining the linings and everything, it has already taken 1 inch, half inch out of it. Okay, just remove that half inch. If it's 2 inches allowance that you added when you were cutting the dress, just remove half inch on it and mark 1.5 inch inside. Then just take your measurement like that and just sew a straight line on it. That's just it. You'll get a perfect measurement for your clients. So after pinning it down, I'll just add the zip at this one side of the gown, any side you want. You can also add pocket on this tie, but that should be on the gathered part of the gown and not on the waist part. So now after joining, I'll go ahead in the 1.5 inch remaining for the allowance. So we are going to go in by 1.5 inch on both sides of the gown. When we get to the waist part, we are going to just remove half inch because it's a gathered gown. So it's a free gown it's free from the waist downwards. So we're just going to remove half inch on the waist, on the skirt part of the gown, just half inch. You see how I did it there? So the only place that needs to be tight is the upper bodice, and from the waist is just a free gown. Okay, so now after doing that part, I'm going to go over to my machine and stitch both sides of the gown with my measurement. Then I'll show you the final result of the gown. The gown does not have a sleeve, it's just sleeveless shirt gown. Okay, what it looks like now, this is what it looks like after joining everything, putting the side pocket because it has a pocket. I even forgot that my client requested for a pocket. You can see the button that I just placed on top of the gown to show that it's a button dress, but my client does not want it to be open. That's why I added the zipper at the side. So we have come to the end of this video, and I hope you really enjoyed this. See you guys in my next video. Bye.